Now, in the next exercise, we're talking about percentage, excuse me, percentage increase and decrease. That's exercise 607. So what that's talking about there is where we have, when it says increase, that means make something bigger. When it says decrease, it means making something smaller. So let's do an example. Let's say we're asked to increase $200 by 7%. So I've got $200 and I want to increase this $200 by 7%. How do I do that? Well, logically, work out what is 7% of the $200 and then you add it to the $200. That's increasing the 200 by 7%. So let's work out what's 7% of 200. Well, 7% can be rewritten as 7 over 100 of $200. So what's 7% of $200 is written as 7 over 100 times 200. What's that equal to? Well, we cancel wherever we can. Cancel those zeros. Cancel these zeros. I'm left with ones on the bottom. 7 times 2 is equal to 14. And that's $14. 7% of 200 is $14. So now I know what 7% is, but the question is asking me to increase $200 by 7%. So I must take the $200 and add to it my $14, and that will give me what is my final answer, which will be $214. Now I've increased 200 by 7%, which is $14. Now before I go on, I want to show you and want you to understand something that's really important. The $200, let's start with the 14 first. The $14 is in fact what? It's 7%, isn't it? We calculated the 14 because we worked out that as being the 7% of the $200. So we know that the $14 is 7% of $200. What's the $200? Well, that's the 100%, isn't it? That's my whole amount. So my whole amount, which is 100% of what I've got, is 200. 7% of that is the 14. So looking at the percentage up here, I've got 100% plus 7%. So my 100% is the 200, the 7% is the 14. So really I'm adding 100% of my money to 7% of my money. So what is my total amount in terms of percentages? 100 plus 7, it's 107%. In other words, the $214 is in fact 107% of my original amount. Why did I say that? Well, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want you to realize when it says increase something by 7%, when you're increasing it, that's like saying I want to take the $200 and I want to multiply it. Instead of multiply it by the 7%, I actually want to increase it so I can multiply it by 107% and find out what that answer is. So that 107% can be rewritten as 107 over 100. Let's cancel. Now I'm left with 2 times 107. 2 times 100 is going to be 200. 2 times 7 is 14, which gives me $214, which is the same answer as when I worked it out separately as 7%, then added that to 100. So, just recapping, I can calculate it separately. If I'm asked to increase $200 by 7%, I can work out first what is 7% of $200, and I found that to be 14. And because it asked me to increase it by 200 by that amount, I add the 14 to my 200, and that's my final increased amount. The other way I can do it, I can see that I'm increasing all my money by 7%. So really I'm taking my money, I'm adding 7% to it. So I can say, okay, the final amount, I can do it all in one line. I can just say that 200 multiplied by my total amount of percentages, which is my 100% plus my 7%. So I take 200 times 107%, work what that is. It shows me that I've got $214.